Hi, is Chase there?
This is Chase.
Hey, Chase, this is RJ Bates calling about your property there on San Mateo Drive. Looked like you had filled out a form saying that you were looking to sell that property. Is that correct?
Maybe, yeah, I spoke with a gentleman on the phone earlier, yeah. And he filled it out, I guess.
That was definitely not me or my company.
Okay.
But
what's the name of the company? I'm sorry, RJ.
My company is Titanium Investments.
I have a feeling that's my little brother doing it. We're both kind of tech team, and then he probably put my name as the default. So
I got you.
So we're just reaching out to a few folks. So.
Gotcha. How much are you looking to get for it?
It's not in great shape. In fact, it's not in good shape.
Sounds perfect.
I don't know. Probably 60 grand.
All right.
I could be talked around. I just need. I'll tell you my scenario, RJ. My dad died 2 years ago, and this is becoming a burden. And I have other rental properties, but this is not one I'm looking to keep at this point. It's just going to be more work than what I can do working full time, being a dad and all that.
Yep.
So I'm looking to figure out what our options are here.
Understood. Oh, first and foremost, sorry to hear about your dad's passing. I know, unfortunately, I have to deal with those scenarios far too often, you know. All right. So you said 60. What's the status of this? It's vacant right now and just kind of in disrepair.
Yep, it is. You're right.
Okay.
And it's been vacant for he died right about 2 years ago. So 2 years ago, we know that the heating and AC worked at that time. I think we've actually kept the electric on just so we could test. We have done that. We could check things once in a while, turn a light on or whatever. But yeah, that's basically what it is. Nobody's been in there for about 2 years. It's in disrepair. I don't have time to deal with it, and it's at a distance for me. So
gotcha. What is the?
I'm happy to let what it makes sense for you guys as wholesalers, whatever it is you guys do. Drive what we can get for it here. My logic is I'm not trying to get wealthy off of it. I'd like to not just give it back to the state or dump it for no reason. But yeah, it's more of it's becoming a burden while at the same time, half-hearted effort. Want to do something with it, but can't.
Right. So, I mean, just looking in the area, comps wise, I mean, you've got like 156, 122, 125, 144 on the high end. And then on the low end, the lowest inside of a quarter mile is 38,000. And then you've got quite a bit in the $60,000 range, right? You got 60, 60, 61, 60. I mean, there's quite a few in that range.
Gotcha.
I would say.
Here's my logic, RJ.
Yep.
You're gonna have to put a new roof on it, and it's gonna there's bigger projects. That's why I'm like looking lower. I mean, I looked at Zillow. I saw what the comps were and things like that. I just also know that it needs bigger projects. So
yeah. So what are we thinking? Like 30, 40 grand in rehab?
I would guess you're probably right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the roof is going to be the biggest single piece. Yeah.
Right. And
it's not a giant house, 1,650 or something like that. But roof, you guys would have better deals doing that kind of stuff than me as an independent at this point.
Right. I mean, I would say this: if you just gotta want to be hands off on it and just like get it moved, I think we would need to be. My intention on this deal would be to wholesale it. I'm not looking to buy anything in Hobbs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm based out of Fort Worth, Texas. That being said, I mean, we've done deals in this area before. We have known buyers there.
I know exactly what you mean, RJ. My wife and I have several rentals. We have properties in Texas, Colorado, and here. Hobbs is not my market either. So I figured wholesale probably made the most sense.
I would say to move it quickly, I would probably need to move it at like 55. Because then I'm coming in below what all these other properties have moved for, right? 60,000. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 5 properties that moved at 60,000. So the question that your buyers always have is, well, why would I buy yours at 60 when I can just go pick them up, myself? And maybe even potentially find something with better condition. So if that's the case, I'd probably want to start with you at somewhere in the range of 50,000, and we could try to move it at 60. But I would want to make a minimum of like $7,500 on it. Just being honest with you.
Yeah, I understand. I think that's illogical here. Work this through my mind the same way.
So what I can do for you is I mean, if you want to do that, I can send you the contract for the 50. We can put it out there at the 60, kind of be open communication with you about what the feedback is. And if we come back and we say, hey man, all of our offers came back at 52, then it's like, hey, if you want to do this at 45, then we can write it up and get it done. If not, no harm, no foul. We just move on about our way.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not opposed to this. Like I said, I'm not opposed to this. This is logical. So you tell me how it works. Just give me a walkthrough briefly. You guys send over. You list it for wholesalers, basically.
Basically, what it is I get it under contract. I have a program called Investor Lift. It gives me access to all of the buyers in that area. It's including mine. We get pictures. We send out an email blast. We send out a text blast. We call the known buyers that we have. We basically just give them a package that's saying, hey, here's the pictures. Here's the price of 60,000. They probably want to go do a walkthrough. It's very rare for sight unseen to come in for a flipper or a landlord. They probably want to have access to it with a lot box or something like that. They go out there, they come back to us, and they either say, yeah, we'll do it at 60, or they come back and say, hey, the best I have to do is 55,000. We don't do bidding wars. We do first come, first serve. So whatever price we set it at, like I said, we would set it at 60. If someone comes back and says 60, then it's a done deal. And then you get your 50 grand in a week or so. If the price is lower, then that's where we have to have conversations about what has to happen. And it's always up to you to make a decision on if you want to do that or not.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I get it totally. I'll give you one caveat here. The house is under my father's name. It's sitting with my lawyer right now to switch it over to me. I have just been waiting until I talked to a few people to make sure it was going to be worth my efforts.
Right.
And so now I can go ahead and do that pretty quickly. Yeah.
So it would be in your personal name now, or would it be like in your father's estate?
It would be in my personal name. Yeah.
Okay. And how long do you think that would take?
I don't know. I figured that really quickly though. My lawyer can just give him a call. So he's been sitting on the will. It was an old will, and in the state of New Mexico, they've got to be within a certain amount of years. So, and it wasn't. So there's a little process, but he already, like I said, knows about it. Like I told him, I think this is the route I'm going to go, but I'm going to make sure that it's worthwhile before I start paying you thousands to do this as well as my lawyer. So.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm looking at is I mean, I feel pretty confident in this, but even if you wanted to wait. But what we could do, I've done this before, is you could go ahead and sign a contract. Then that means we could open title. Title's going to come back and say, hey, this isn't in Chase's name. This is in Chase's dad's name. And that's not a problem, because then it could be, well, I have a will and I'm currently working with this attorney. So we could simultaneously work the process. And the reason why that would be beneficial is because you're going to know pretty quickly from us whether or not it's 50,000 or 40,000 or whatever. And so at that point in time, you can, I mean, I'm assuming nothing's owed on the property except for some property taxes and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, a couple hundred property taxes.
Right. So at that point in time, you're going to make a decision on, hey, do I want to spend the $2,000 to get this in my name so I can make 50 grand? I mean, obviously that's a no brainer, right?
Right. Yeah, no, you're right. Now welcome to my mindset. Same. Yeah, I've been kind of sitting on this after he died, but here we are now, and that's my logic as well. So.
Right. So why don't I do that? Why don't I just send you the contract in your name, sign it, open title, you start the process, and before you give any money to an attorney, I say I've got a buyer now at 60 grand and you're good at 50, and then okay, cool. Let's get it in your name and then we'll close.
Push it my way. I want to see the contract anyway.
Yep.
And then, like I said, this stuff's already sitting with my lawyer, so I can ask him quickly for what the timeline is like.
Yep. All right. So what I'll do is I've got your email as
CA.
Are you a golfer?
No, just the last name Taylor.
I got you.
I've tried golfing. Let's say that. I'm not great at it.
Yeah, I got you. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'll write that up. I'll get that sent over to you. It's just 2 pages, pretty simple. And yeah, man, let's get the process started and we'll go from there. Okay.
Okay. Appreciate your time, RJ.
Yep. Thanks, Chase. Bye-bye.
All right. Have a good day.
Ooh, buddy. Property leads coming in strong.